Dynamite download.
Next on deck, Serena Deep and Rio. I mean, I don't know if they're going to just kind of stay in line, and next week we'll get Nyla Rose and Tay Conti and then Britt Baker. But it'll be very interesting what we see happen on Monday, because this, for me, will be the first time I'm really getting to see any one of these Japanese stars in the ring. So I can't speak to that, and I'm excited to see what's in store for that. So Monday we'll have a lot in store. That's kind of, I was reading why Shida hasn't been there, because she's over in Japan kind of producing this and helping this out.
That's cool.
It's great, but ultimately you're still like, they should have built this in a perfect world. They should have built this where Shida's watching like every match essentially.
I like that idea.
Get her on TV, get her on TV just to watch the match, or at least like every other one, show her being like kind of scouting, or even like the semifinals, have her get on commentary just to put in a couple things. I don't know how comfortable she is with that, but
this is one of your pet peeves, SPD, is that like, and that's why you've struggled with the women's division for the majority of our time at Dynamite Download, is that Shida has not been showcased in a way that is fitting of a champion of her caliber. It's just not. It has not done the division any favors.
Mm-hmm.
They're insulting their own belt in a lot of ways,
and that's why I've been clamoring. I mean, that's why I've been clamoring. You put it on a dynamic personality like Britt Baker. She's, can you imagine the waiting room segments with her having the gold? She's got the charisma that is fitting of a champion. I think that's what's missing right now. So I understand where you're coming from, but let's be real. When you look at this tournament, man, the personalities aside, the in-ring content is just unbelievable. What we're gonna get, the matchups are awesome, dude. You're gonna see Thunder already beat Layla. Thunder Rosa is gonna go against either Serena Deeb or Riho. So you're either gonna have Thunder Rosa go against the first AEW Women's Champion or the current NWA Women's Champion in the second round. And both of those, like, either way, we've seen Thunder and Deeb have freaking banger match before, just absolutely amazing. Both those girls are absolute pros. Both wrestle with a purpose. I know Bonds, I love reading your column when you get a chance to talk about Thunder or Deeb, because you're like, you see it through the same lens I do, man. You see like just such a purposefulness, such a push, a drive in their matches. That's just it's impressive to see.
Definitely.
And then dude, like Britt Baker versus Anna Jay. I mean, I think that Anna is somebody who is another example of like a sleeper talent. Both her and Tay Conti are both sleeper talents. Ty is getting a little bit more love because I think people will see that jiu-jitsu background that she has. Like that girl
in her matches.
Who wins? Let's go through this first round, guys. So we already saw Layla Hirsch versus Thunder. SPD. You and I are gonna have a friendly bet. Whoever, like, who do you think is gonna win this match between Deeb and Riho?
I'll bet you a Sammy drink.
I was gonna say I'll bet you a beer. My beer. I'm picking Deeb.
All right, I'll go Rio.
All right, so I'll go Deeb.
I was leaning towards that just because I'm gonna stay consistent with the fact that like you bring someone back just to lose. I think you create heat. She's ultimately gonna lose again anyways to Thunder. So it's either you're gonna lose in the first round or you're gonna lose in the second round. So that, to each his own. But I do think it would be a more compelling story to have Serena versus Thunder.
I think the story
could be like a grudge match, one trade wins. So
then it can set up another match for another title match as well.
So I'm gonna just say Rio because of that.
I think that Riho, you could blame a loss on ring rust. You could blame a loss on the fact that she's going against a legitimate champion. And to be honest with you, the story, like if you have Riho win, I mean, yeah, like having her go against Thunder is awesome and it's compelling and it's something we've never seen before. But you're putting two fan favorites against each other in a way that, like,
True.
I don't know. I feel like if you're gonna go all in with Thunder, the story there is you have her like conquer those 3 goals that she set out. I don't know. I think that the writing is on the wall that Thunder and Serena need to get in the ring again, and I'll put my money on Deeb. I think that that match is going to be awesome. What about you, Bonds? Be the tiebreaker.
I would say Serena Deeb as well. Mostly for what you said, Mike. I think that having Thunder versus Deeb in the second round is more compelling. And when I look at brackets and I try to determine what they're doing with brackets, I always look later in the bracket to see what makes the most sense. And to me, in that second round, what makes the most sense to me is Thunder Rosa versus Serena Deeb. Yeah. That's the best matchup for any of the matches in the second round. Mm-hmm. At least on the American side. I don't know enough about the Japanese wrestlers, right. To be fair. I don't. But on the American side and the AEW side, you have like that's a grudge, that's a potential to tie it up and then have another grudge match in the future where you get another title change.
Exactly.
So,
you listen to Thunder Rosa's promo.
Yeah.
Her 3 goals, right? If she can say that, okay, yeah, you beat me for the title, but we're 1-1 now.
Right.
And I want a rematch with you for the champion. I mean, it just further solidifies her case. I don't know. I think that there's meat on the bone there. So I'm feeling good heading into this week's bet.
All right.
Thunder versus Deeb, second round. All right, now we're going down the side of the tournament. And again, I don't know about you guys. I don't feel comfortable talking about the Japanese side. Now I'm going to watch.
I don't either.
And I'm going to learn. I think that's the best way to approach. So many people on social and in the world these days feel like they have to be the authority on everything. I will be the first to admit that I don't know enough about that, and I'm interested and I'm curious and I want to see it.
Me too.
I look forward to becoming fans of some of these talents. But I'm going to stick on my focus on what we know and what we love, and that's AEW, and that's what we've seen. So let's go through the U.S. side of this tournament, and let's talk about it. So Ty Conti versus Nyla Rose. Now, SPD, this is another example where, like, man, Nyla Rose has not been on television in a long. I mean, as far as like, when was the last time we saw her in a feature match like this? Had to have been when she lost to Shida at the last pay-per-view. So Nyla versus Conti, where do you go with that?
I would pick Nyla. I mean, Conti's not ready yet. I mean, I think she is growing a lot with her in-ring stuff. Unless there's some kind of like distraction that they throw in a swerve where Nyla gets distracted and then starts the sidebar feud, which can make sense. But yeah, I agree, Brian. Nyla can't take many more losses. I mean, she is a force, and that's another scenario. If she doesn't lose in the first round, she's going to lose in the second round because we know Britt and Thunder are going to be in the semifinals on the finals on the American side. So it's to each his own. When do you put her to the loss? And I don't think Tay Conti is ready to take a clean victory over Nyla. If there's some kind of distraction in that sense, I'm all for that. And then you can have Britt take down Tay after that, because ultimately we know Britt's going to beat Anna Jay. But this is a stacked first round for sure.
What do you say, Bonds?
Could go
I
both
agree
ways
with
in almost any match.
Sorry, SPD.
You're good.
I agree with SPD though. Like Nyla, I think has to win. I don't think I've seen Nyla Rose win a match since I've been working with you guys on Dynamite. She hasn't been on Dynamite. Something needs to happen, and I think that this is a perfect opportunity. And then you can even look forward in the second round because if Britt Baker's there, there's going to be interference. There's interference in all Britt's matches.
Yeah.
So you have an opportunity to
protect Nyla.
Nyla Rose, you have an opportunity to, have her win in good fashion against Ty Conti. And then you can have her lose in a way that doesn't hurt her with interference from Rebel, whatever.
It's
and then
Rebel,
everything's good.
not Reba. All right.
Whatever.
All right. So again, you guys.
Reba.
So you guys are zigging. I'm gonna zag. I think that Ty wins this one. I think that
Okay.
I think that she's got a groundswell of support. I think that
She does.
she's trending in this direction. Nyla is a little stagnant right now, and yeah, she's got a name and some star power behind her. But I think that the way that this storyline, again, talking about the future brackets, if you have Britt beat Anna, the compelling story to me is Britt going against Anna's best friend, and kind of like having that natural progression of Ty wanting to get revenge, and wanting to beat Britt and kind of giving her that extra motivation. It would make Britt that much more of a compelling heel. Again, Nyla is a heel. Nyla's got Vicky in her corner. Now Vicky and Britt on the mic together would be gold. But to me, I look at this and I say, well, the Dark Order is very clearly, they are the home team of AEW. They are the baby faces. And if you're going to push Britt as this like nasty, dastardly, egocentric heel, you have her run the gauntlet against the ultimate baby faces. You have her beat Anna. You have her beat Anna's best friend, Ty, and maybe do it in a humiliating, like nasty way. But like, can you imagine, to me personally too, I think the matchup with Britt versus Ty would be so much more entertaining and compelling, because I feel like it would put Britt in that power position a little bit more and allow her to be that nasty heel that we saw her in the Thunder match. And you're going to make, like, when Nyla's in the ring, whoever's against her is kind of all automatically going to be the underdog.
Yeah.
And that's not what AEW wants. AEW does not want Britt to have that sympathy, especially if the semifinals is going to lead to what we think it should, Britt versus Thunder as a rematch. I think that you push this feud on the Britt side of this bracket with Britt being that nasty, like manipulative, like cowardly heel, and you have her beat the Dark Order, kind of the besties of the Dark Order. And it makes that story that much more compelling, because you have Thunder, who we all agree. We had that post on Twitter today. We all agree Thunder is as compelling of a babyface as it gets in wrestling. Period.
The cream of the crop.
Her story, the way she wrestles, her presence in whenever she's on screen, you want to root for her. So I don't know. I mean, yes, I can see why you guys pick Nyla, because if Britt goes over Nyla, all the critics have to shut up. And they have to say, like, damn, Britt beat a beast. She beat the native beast that she's
that's most incredible win to date, probably.
No doubt. But like, no doubt, son. But from an in-ring perspective, I think that the match would be more compelling. I think it would fit Britt's wheelhouse more, make her feel more comfortable, put her in a power position.
She's not the underdog.
And it would make it so that she's not the underdog. And I don't think that that's where they want to go. So that's how I would book it. If you're doing, I don't know. I got to figure out a segment for Crayfish, but
Crayfish,
yeah, no. Booking with Bonds is perfect, but yeah. Thunder Rosa, baby. So
songs. Oh my god.
Thunder's song makes you just want to jump off the couch and scream, baby.
Oh yeah.
So who do you guys got, man? Who do you guys got going? Britt versus Thunder. Who would you pick? This is the ultimate. This is the ultimate question. I think a lot of fans are going to be struggling with that one.
I think you gotta put Thunder over.
It's a win-win. It's a really, I mean, you can't lose at this point, but you really have to. I think you got to put. I mean, we've seen it and said it. Britt is the next champ. Period.
That's my opinion. And now again,
I mean, she can shift gears. Like, I don't know. I just hope ultimately Thunder gets signed in some kind of fashion, like the dream booking that we said was like she wins the tournament and then gets presented a contract and then can eventually take the belt, and then you could do some long-term storytelling against Britt, how she's like, I got the belt, I beat you, and then they ultimately have a feud, a long stretch feud again. I don't know, it's. But I think the way AEW is going to go with it is Britt Baker is going to win the tournament and win the belt at against Sheeta. So are we going to see the finals of this at Revolution, do you think? Answer that after your pick.
Wow. Well, my pick, I mean, I love both of them. I think that Thunder and Britt are both phenomenal. But man, from an in-ring perspective, I actually do think that Thunder versus Sheeta would be a more fun matchup to watch. I think that like Sheeta versus Thunder would be like the most fun to watch, just because I feel like Sheeta is such a powerful striker. Thunder versus Sheeta would be a great like back and forth match. But
agreed.
But I've been clamoring for Britt to be the champ, and as Brian said, she's the homegrown AEW talent. She is the face of this division, and it's about time that she gets a shot at holding the belt. I mean, she's done so much to, I think, keep this division afloat while they were trying to figure out their identity. Mm-hmm. I think that Britt deserves it. You can't just, like we've talked about, like MJF deserves a title and stuff like that. You can't just throw belts on people.
Everybody. You can't.
I mean, everybody's got to have their time, right? But this takes me back to our interview with Thunder.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. I got this vibe from Thunder that like she understands that everything in life has its place, and there will be a time when Thunder is going to be the AEW Women's World Champion. There will become a day where she is so undeniable that eventually she is going to have that belt. But I think she understands that time is not right now. I think that she understands that her role is to have a freaking amazing blood feud with Britt.
Yeah. And
her purpose will be to push Britt to become what she can be. My opinion.
I was, like I said before, I still think it'd be cool to see Thunder in that awesome, like, get signed, win that title. That'd be great. And that's kind of what I wish would happen, just because we want her to be all elite. We want her to get signed. I tweeted on my Booking by Bonds Twitter today. I was like, you need to be all elite. You're already elite. Now be all elite. To her, you know what I mean? Yeah. And but I think you're right, Mike, because there's a natural build to another match between her and Baker potentially. So you could have Baker win the belt and then immediately transition into a feud with Thunder Rosa. And then you kind of have the best of both worlds. You don't have to, because if the only thing that makes me question that is because right now Britt is one up on her already.
Yeah.
She's beaten her multiple times in a row.
It's dubious.
So you kind of have this, you know what I mean? So I don't know. We'll see. I think you guys are probably right. It's probably going to be Britt.
She didn't win fair.
It's going to be a good match no matter what. I think it'll be interesting.
I think that what should happen, and I think that this goes back to what SPD said in last week's show, is I think that what should happen is, and I think a lot of fans will be pissed, but I think that Rebel needs to, again, get involved in some way.
Yeah.
Help Britt win. And then that immediately, I mean, Thunder at that point, we know how much fire she has inside her. Can you imagine if Rebel costs her this ultimate opportunity? Like, then you pivot it where it's like, all right, Britt becomes champ. And in order for Thunder to get a shot at Britt, she's more than happy to go through Rebel. And I think you have Thunder just rip Rebel apart and scare the bejesus out of Britt, and you put her on notice and you build for that to the next big pay-per-view, Thunder versus Britt. So, all right. So, guys, we just did some I mean, I think that the women's championship tournament is something that we are ecstatic about.